Summertime screams, slashers, and Giallo films? In my opinion, yes. And this year, even more so than usual because I'm participating in an event called Giallo July, which is a watching and a reading event, and it is open to everybody. I have a massive, insane, outrageous watch list of 25 Giallo films, and I need you guys' help to help me prioritize which films I should definitely get to in the month of July. So without further ado, let's go to the short intro. When we come back, help me weed through my watch list. Welcome back, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Nightmares and Nostalgia, where, yeah, we talk about everything from horror movies to 80s and 90s nostalgia and everything in between. But today we are talking horror, and we are talking specifically Giallo movies, and I'm very excited because I love a great Giallo film. And I gotta say, I'm not an expert or anything. I'm still really trying to make my way through the what I would call essential Giallo movies. However, I've watched about, I guess now about 16 or 17, but I hope to watch a lot more coming up in July. Like I said, I am participating in an event with my friend Alex, the Bookubus. She's the one who created Giallo July. I will link her announcement video below, as well as my announcement video below if you want to participate. There are a list of 4 easy as hell prompts. You can use the prompts, you don't have to use the prompts, and it can help you pick out what to watch, what to read, or what to watch and read. It doesn't matter. Or if you just want to watch Giallo movies and say that you're participating, that's fine too. There is a Discord, guys, and we will be showing watch parties on the Discord. So yes, there will be Giallo watch parties. I'm so excited. All right, so without further ado, let's get into my personal watch list. And if you want a little sneak peek at my TBR, which means to be read for anyone who's not into reading, I do have a movie-related book that I hope to get to in the month of July, which is all about Giallo, which is perfect for Giallo July, of course. This is Giallo Meltdown, a movie-thon diary by Richard Glenn Schmidt. And essentially, he spent like a couple of weekends binging tons of Giallo movies. And he didn't do a lot of the essentials like from, you know, Mario Bava or Lucio Fulci or Dario Argento. I think he did those at the very end, which he had already seen before, but he kind of tried to, you know, watch some others, and he documented his experience. So from what I've flipped through this book and seen, it's more of his trippy experience and observations while watching the movies and in between watching the movies, and how his like brain is melting and his eyes are like bleeding and burning, not literally bleeding, but you know, his eyes are getting super tired. So anyway, sneak peek to my TBR. If you do want to see the rest of the books I plan to read for Giallo July, I highly suggest, if you're not already subscribed to my book channel, please go over there. It's the channel Slime and Slashers, and I talk about all kinds of books, but mostly horror books, vintage and new horror. So any horror book fans, head over there, please. Please subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I'm so stoked about my TBR. I have the entire thing planned already, so I cannot wait to film that video and let you guys know what else I'll be reading in addition to this. So yeah, a lot of the books on my list will be thriller, mystery, but I'm also reading some slashers, because to me, slashers and Giallo, very, very similar in terms of, you know, the early American slasher was definitely inspired by Giallo films that came before. So in terms of movies, definitely they're related, but in book form, you know, I just think slasher books go well with a watch-a-thon in which I'm watching Giallo movies, so I'm reading slasher books for the most part. But I will have a Giallo-inspired read or two on the list as well, and like I said, some mystery, crime thriller, which is very much in line with what Giallo was first associated with when it was first associated with books back in the day. All right, 25 movies. I'm going to look at my letterbox. So if you see me looking down, it's just because I'm looking at my computer. And we're going to go through all the films from the oldest film to the most recent film. That's how we're going to do it in the order. And first up on my list, a movie from 1970, we've got A Quiet Place to Kill. A race car driver who's down on her luck is invited by her ex-husband's wife to stay at their plush villa. The two women form a bond, and it's not long before their mutual dislike for the husband culminates into a plan to kill him. As it turns out, though, they're not alone in plotting murder. And if you're looking to find this one yourself, this is streaming on Tubi, and you can rent it on Amazon Prime. Next up, we've got In the Folds of the Flesh, another one from 1970. This synopsis says police are in hot pursuit of a criminal who is evading capture on a speeding motorbike. He takes refuge in an overgrown castle's grounds and sees a pale woman burying a corpse in a shallow grave. 13 years later, after being recaptured and serving his sentence, the man returns to the castle intent on blackmail and maybe a few other things. And this one sounds bonkers. This is one of the ones I got from the book. He mentioned this one in the book and said it was wild and the ending was so confusing but also kind of awesome and crazy. Anyway, but mostly confusing. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. If you guys don't know what Giallo is in terms of a subgenre of film, I do explain a little bit of the origins of Giallo. First, as it applies to books, and then as it came to be associated with film. I explain that in my announcement video. Again, that is linked below, so I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of explaining what Giallo is if you've never heard of it before. Also, by the way, if you have not heard of it before, I do give some very, very beginner-friendly recommendations for movies and books in that other announcement video. So it's not just an announcement video, it's also a recommendation video. But back to In the Folds of the Flesh. This one, you cannot rent it anywhere streaming. You have to get the disc from Amazon. Did I buy the disc? That's neither here nor there. Anyway, moving right along, we've got A Lizard in a Woman's Skin. And I already have this one on DVD. I can't even show you the cover because it's so sleazy, which is a staple of Giallo films, by the way. They're very sleazy. I think that adds to the appeal, but, you know, newbies beware, I guess, if you don't like sleaze in your films, but a lot of horror fans do, so it's nothing unusual, you know, to come across some sleaze and some horror, but it goes hand in hand with Giallo. I can't even show you the cover, because this one is so sleazy on the cover itself, you can't even see it, and it does say 18 plus here. Anyway, so A Lizard in a Woman's Skin. This one's directed by my boy Lucio Fulci, one of my favorite Italian directors. I love him. This one is from 1971, and the synopsis says, biting, gnawing terror claws at your brain. Carol, daughter of a politician, has vivid nightmares involving sex orgies and LSD. In a dream, she murders a neighbor she envies and wakes up to a real investigation into her neighbor's murder. Dun dun dun! I'm so excited for all of these movies. Oh my god, it's gonna be so fun. And so the reason I own the DVD is because this one is not streaming anywhere, and I bought this last year intending to get to this film, but I didn't get to it. So, again guys, let me know, out of all of these films, which you have seen and which you recommend that I make sure I get to this year, and that I don't leave it for another year. Because I don't think I'm going to get to all 25, but, you know, you never know. Alright, next up, another movie from 1971. This is The Black Belly of the Tarantula, and this says, with needles dripped in deadly venom, the victims are paralyzed, so they must lie awake and watch themselves die. That's actually not the synopsis, that's the tagline, but I think we're going to leave it with that. I like that a lot. And this one is on Shudder, if you have a Shudder subscription. Some of my friends have watched this. I see a lot of 3 stars, but if you're familiar with author David Sodergren, he has given this one 5 stars, so we will have to see where I land in terms of how I'm going to rate this one. We'll have to see. I do have a friend, Mike, who gave this one 4.5 stars, but a lot of my other friends fall into the 3.5 star range, so it'd be interesting to see how I rate that one after I watch it, if I get to it. Alright, the 5th movie on my list, funnily enough, has 5th in the name, The Fifth Chord. Also, again, like the last 2 I discussed, this one's also from 1971, and this is about a journalist who finds himself on the trail of a murderer who's been targeting people around him while the police are considering him a suspect in their investigation. That synopsis is so generic, it could be of any Giallo film, but I'm excited to watch this one. It is streaming on Tubi and on Arrow if you have an Arrow subscription, which I do, and you can rent it on Amazon or YouTube. Moving right along, Next up, another one I have on DVD, we've got the Blood-Stained Butterfly. This is a really beautiful freaking cover. Well, I say cover, I'm so used to doing books. It's a great freaking Blu-ray case. I really like it a lot. I'm so used to booktube, I'm sorry guys. It's so weird. Anyway, this is also from 1971. Is this the most popular release year out of my movies on my list? I don't know. The tagline, a brutal murder cannot be solved, but the murderer has been recognized by someone. ... Again, that's kind of a generic synopsis, but we don't have to go in depth into all of these. Next up, yet another film released in 1971. This is Short Night of Glass Dolls, and the tagline just says, when things are not what they seem. An American journalist in Prague searches for his girlfriend who has suddenly disappeared. Standard synopsis again, and this one is streaming on Tubi. Another film from 1971, we've got a film directed by Dario Argento, one of my favorite directors, period, but especially one of my favorite Italian directors, but I just love Dario Argento. So I haven't seen this one. It's Four Flies on Gray Velvet, and it says, when the flies start to crawl, so will your flesh. I like it a lot. This one you can only get on DVD, you can't stream it, as far as I know. Next up, a movie from 1972. So we're moving forward in years a little bit now. We're not stuck in 1971 anymore. So this one is What Have You Done to Solange? I think that's how you pronounce the name. And this one says, after several Catholic school pupils are murdered, a teacher who is having an affair with one of his students becomes a suspect. Sleaze to the maximum. Let's go. And this one you can rent on Amazon. Next up, we've got A Muck from 1972, and it says, an explosion of sexual frenzy. A beautiful American woman infiltrates the home of a novelist and his wife so she can investigate the disappearance of her lover, who is her employer's previous secretary, and soon finds herself the target of the couple's erotic desires and a murder plot. Whatevs. Anyway, this one's streaming on Tubi. Next up, yet another movie from 1972. Lots of 70s movies on my list because that's kind of like the height of Giallo, the golden age of Giallo, the 70s. But this is Smile Before Death. After the death of her mother, under strange circumstances, a teenage girl quickly begins to suspect that her recently widowed stepfather may be involved. And you can rent this one on Amazon, on YouTube, or you can stream it if you have a subscription to Arrow. Next up, another very popular Giallo film that I have not yet seen somehow, and this one is Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, another film from 1972, and the tagline says, unlock the secrets of your darkest desires. Oliviero is a drunk, burned-out writer who amuses himself by hosting orgies at his Grand Country Manor. What else are you gonna do, right? Whatever, anyway. And humiliating his wife Erna. When a number of women are murdered in grisly fashion, Oliviero becomes a prime suspect. Bitch, you should have been avoiding those orgies. Now you're suspected for murder. Alright, you can stream this one on Tubi, and I've heard a lot of great things about this one. Next up, yep, another 1972 film. We've got The Red Queen Kills 7 Times, another classic Giallo film that I have not yet seen. And it goes without saying, all of the films on my list for this year I have not seen. I did some rewatching last year for Giallo July, but this year I'm trying to go all new watches so I can expand my horizons and get a smidge closer to being an expert. Again, I'm very far from being an expert on Giallo, but, you know, progress here and there. It's honestly one of my new favorite subgenres, and so I can't wait to keep watching more and more. The tagline says, the corpse that didn't want to die. After the death of their grandfather, 2 sisters inherit the family castle, which is said to be haunted by the Red Queen, whom legend says claims 7 lives every 100 years. When a mysterious woman in a red cloak starts targeting their circle of friends, the sisters begin to suspect there might be some truth to the legend. This one sounds fun. Definitely sounds like we're gonna get some supernatural elements in this one, which isn't always in Giallo movies. And this one is available to rent on Amazon. You could also rent it on YouTube, and you could stream it on Tubi and Arrow if you have an Arrow subscription. Next up, yet another classic. I gotta get on the ball with these. This is Torso from 1973, and the tagline says, "Enter if you dare the bizarre world of the psychosexual mind." A mass serial killer with psychosexual issues strangles female co-eds with scarves before dismembering them. When a wealthy student identifies one of the scarves and thinks she has a lead on a suspect, she becomes the killer's next target, retreating to her family's remote cliffside villa with 3 of her girlfriends. Ooh, a cliffside villa setting. Yes, that sounds fun. Another classic I have not yet seen, and this one is available to rent on Amazon, YouTube, and it's streaming on Tubi. And again, you can stream it on Arrow if you have that service. Next up, we've got a Mario Bava directed movie, Lisa and the Devil, from 1973. The tagline, "Every corner of the soul is lost to the icy clutch of the supernatural." Lisa is a tourist in an ancient city. When she gets lost, she finds an old mansion in which to shelter. Soon she is sucked into a vortex of deception, debauchery, and evil. This one's available to stream on Shudder, and it's also on Amazon Prime. Next up, we're moving to another year. This is What Have They Done to Your Daughters? And it's from 1974. The tagline, "Just another suicide until the police discovered... a bloody bathroom, a maniac with a cleaver, a schoolgirl sex ring." Alright, this one sounds crazy, and it is streaming on Tubi. Next up, we've got Footprints on the Moon. This one's from 1975, and the tagline, "Ecstasy beyond passion, possession beyond lust. It is the ultimate fulfillment." And this one is streaming on Shudder. Next up, we've got The House with Laughing Windows from 1976. This is only available on disc if you get the DVD from Amazon. And the synopsis says, a young resorter is commissioned to save a fresco representing the suffering of Saint Sebastiano, which was painted on the wall of a local church by a mysterious long-dead artist. Next up, another staple Giallo film, super sleazy I hear, super violent, and this one's The New York Ripper from 1982, directed again by one of my favorite directors, Lucio Fulci. Slashing up women was his pleasure. And the premise, a burned-out New York police detective teams up with a college psychoanalyst to track down a vicious serial killer randomly stalking and killing various young women around the city. And this one is streaming on Shudder, and you can rent it on Amazon and YouTube. Next up, I might save this one for another year, so this might be low on my list, but this is Trauma from 1993, directed by, again, one of my favorite directors, Dario Argento, and this is not one of his most acclaimed films, but I still want to eventually see it. We'll just see if I end up getting to it this year or not for Giallo July, but the tagline says, a dark secret, a twisted mind, an insane desire for revenge, and this is streaming on Tubi. You could find it on Hoopla, apparently, and it is available on Amazon Prime. And we go on to another Dario Argento film. This is Sleepless from 2001, and the tagline says, creepier than Jack the Ripper. An elderly and retired police detective and a young amateur sleuth team up to find a serial killer who has resumed a killing spree in Italy after a 17-year hiatus. And this one you can stream on Tubi. Next up, kind of a modern neo-Giallo, so this is more like Giallo-inspired. It's not like an actual Giallo film, but this is In Fabric from 2018. This was directed by Peter Strickland, and it says a killer dress for the tagline. And the premise, a haunting ghost story set against the backdrop of a busy winter sales period in a department store, following the life of a cursed dress as it passes from person to person with devastating consequences. And this one you can rent on Amazon or on YouTube. My friend Amy, from Amy Noel Reads, she only gave this a half star. Meanwhile, my friend Alex, who is the creator of Giallo July, gave it 4 stars. Meanwhile, David Sodergren, the author, who I kind of look to for all things Giallo in a way, because last year when I first did Giallo July, he had this list of 50 essential movies, and I pulled my watch list from his essential list, so I kind of always look to his ratings just for curiosity, but we don't always agree on film ratings. That's what's interesting. But he rated this film 5 stars, so it's gonna be interesting to see where I fall. Again, I think this is more like Giallo vibes, not like true Giallo at all. Like, this doesn't sound like a Giallo, but I think it's definitely probably got like some Italian horror style, at least like Argento-like style in terms of the cinematography and the color. If you don't think I should put this one on my list because it's not technically a giallo, let me know, and I could always switch it out with something else, and I'm open to suggestions, by the way, but I don't know, I felt like I should have some, like, newer films on here, so the next couple are either documentaries or newer films, and we're almost done with my list here. So next up, speaking of documentaries, this one is All the Colors of Giallo from 2019. This is just basically, you know, discussions of Giallo. David Sodergren gave this documentary 2 stars. My friend Alex gave it 3 stars, so kind of mixed there, but David Sodergren, his criticism is that it is dry and talky. All the Colors of Giallo is available to stream on Tubi, and it's also available to rent on Amazon. Next up, another documentary. We've got Fulci for Fake from 2019, and this is a biopic on Lucio Fulci, the director I've mentioned a couple of times already in this video, and it sounds really interesting. My friend Alex gave it 4 stars. This is available to rent on YouTube. It's also available to stream on Tubi and Shudder. Alright, last but not least, a movie that definitely seems to have slasher and giallo vibes. This is The Last Matinee from 2020, and the tagline says, "No talking, no texting, no breathing." In 1993, spectators at the last screening of a horror film at a downtown cinema fall one by one into the hands of a sadistic and ruthless killer. And from what I've heard, this is kind of like a neo-giallo, and this one is available to rent on Amazon, on YouTube, and it's streaming on Tubi. And with that is my entire list. It's an epic list, but I do think there's some room for improvement. So should I replace, you know, the movie that my friend freaking gave a 1/2 star in Fabric with something else that's more, you know, pure giallo? Should I also replace the documentary All the Colors of Giallo? It's only 89 minutes long. That's not that long, but apparently it's kind of dry. So I don't know. I'll have to see. I want you guys' opinions. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Which of the movies on my list have you seen and enjoyed? Which have you seen and not enjoyed? And if you're going to participate, also let me know down below. And if you want to leave a comment but you don't know what to say, how about leaving a nice little yellow heart or a knife emoji in honor of Giallo July? And again, I'm going to link Alex's announcement video, my announcement video, which has some movie and book recs and has all the prompts just like Alex's does. And also I'm going to link the Discord down below if you want to join us for fun discussion. You can share what you're reading or watching or both. And also you can be around for our watch parties, which I'm so jazzed about. I'm definitely planning to play a lot of movies from my list, but also a few classics that I may have already seen before, at least one classic for sure. Probably going to play either Deep Red or Blood and Black Lace, which are 2 of the most popular giallo movies out there. So if you haven't seen either one of those, we're gonna have a watch party for one of those, I think. So we will see what else we play, but I'm so excited. I can't wait. And I can't wait to hear you guys' opinions. But for this time, for this video, that is it for me. Thank you for being patient. I've been on a mini hiatus. Life has been hard in 2025, but I am glad to be back, and you know, I'm going to try to release stuff sporadically here, including I plan on tier ranking all of the giallo films, which I've already seen as of right now. Last year I got so excited and I enjoyed my movie marathon of giallo movies so much that I made a whole spread of it in my journal of all my favorite ones. So yeah, I can't wait, and I hope this year is as successful for me as last year was. So yeah, I do plan on tier ranking the giallo films I have already seen, or maybe I'll wait and do it right after this July is over and tier rank all the ones I watched last year plus the ones I watched this year, whatever ones I get to. And that would be like kind of a more epic, bigger list to rank. So let me know if you're looking forward to that and if you'd like to see it. But like I said, for this time, that truly is it for me. Till next time, guys, you know what you can do. Keep on killing it. Bye, guys.